It united oceans, made millionaires, shattered nations, and redrew the map forever. This wasn't just a railroad. It was a revolution on rails. This is the story of the Transcontinental Railroad, how it expanded the U.S. across the frontier, and why its legacy still shapes us today. In the next few minutes, we'll break down the vision, the build, and the consequences of America's biggest infrastructure gamble. Before the railroad, it took months to cross the U.S., dangerous months filled with risk exhaustion and uncertainty. But early trains were unreliable. Wooden rails cracked, brakes failed, and sparks caused fires. Travel was risky. Boilers exploded, axles snapped. Early engines often failed mid-journey, stranding passengers for days. Over time, iron replaced wood. Trains became faster, safer, more comfortable, what we'd recognize as real trains today. In the mid-1800s, the U.S. was a divided land, physically, economically, and culturally. A journey from coast to coast took months. In 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Pacific Railway Act, giving birth to the Transcontinental Railroad. Two companies took on the challenge: Union Pacific building west from Omaha, Central Pacific heading east from Sacramento. Union Pacific faced threats from terrain, raids, and lawlessness as it pushed across the Great Plains. Central Pacific had its own monster, the Sierra Nevada. Progress was painfully slow. Some days, just inches. Behind the tracks were people, tens of thousands of laborers. Most of the westward force were Chinese immigrants who endured deadly conditions for little pay. Workers blasted through snow and granite, using dynamite and black powder in some of the most dangerous construction in U.S. history. As they neared the Utah desert, competition soared. One team once laid 10 miles of track in a single day. On May 10, 1869, the two lines met at Promontory Summit, Utah. The final spike, golden and ceremonial, was driven. That moment was telegraphed across the nation. In an instant, America was connected from sea to shining sea. But it didn't stop there. The Transcontinental Railroad sparked a railroad boom, with thousands of miles added in just a few decades. Small towns popped up overnight. Goods moved faster. Cattle, wheat, tools, even ideas. Everything flowed on steel rails. The railroads transformed America into an industrial powerhouse, accelerating growth, investment, and communication. But the cost was devastating. Native American tribes were displaced, land was seized, entire ways of life were lost. The railroad also scarred the land. Buffalo were nearly hunted to extinction. Forests were cleared. Rivers were rerouted. And then came corruption. The credit mobilier scandal exposed how insiders enriched themselves, using inflated contracts and public funds. Over time, rail evolved. Faster, safer, electrified. Today's rail system traces its roots back to those first bolt tracks. The legacy of the railroad is complicated. Progress and destruction, unity and exploitation, all riding the same rails. Let's recap. The Transcontinental Railroad began as a political dream, built through impossible terrain by immigrants and innovation. It united the U.S. coast to coast, sparking towns, trade, industry, and also drove displacement, destruction, and scandal, a national triumph, with consequences still unfolding. Quick pop quiz: who built most of the Central Pacific Line? A. Irish, B. Chinese, C. American-born laborers. Answer: B. Over 10,000 Chinese immigrants were the backbone of the Central Pacific's workforce. Ready to quiz yourself with the content covered in this video? Check out the link in the description where you'll find Quizlet content made just for you.